He's recovering. He's back at home out of the hospital. I think I expect a full recovery here and over the course of the next 3 weeks or so is kind of the time frame. Yeah, obviously a very, very scary situation. And I think from everybody's standpoint, I think concern for his well-being and overall, I think probably got lucky in terms of what happened. And I think from our standpoint, I've had plenty of conversations. Most of them are just making sure that he was in good hands with our medical staff. Part of it too is conversation with authorities, in terms of trying to figure out what happened and then the people that did that to him. And then, obviously then getting on more to the health component and the baseball side of things. A conversation just about being smart, about putting yourself in good situation. But honestly, like I think from hearing things from the police department and like detectives that were there and eyewitnesses and stuff, again, it sounds like overall he's the victim in the situation in terms of like asking some guys that were having a dispute, asking them to move and end up getting attacked. So again, I think he understands the responsibility that Padre players have, professional athletes have. You got to put yourself in good spots, and I don't think anybody's expecting something like that to happen. But overall, just talking to him about understanding, understanding that you want to put the odds in your favor. You want to put yourself in good spots, and you want to be smart about what you're doing and who you're associating with. And I think he understands all of that, and he loves to play baseball. He loves to work out. I think obviously, tough situation for everybody. And I think the good news is, hopefully, from a health standpoint, he's could have been a lot different, and he hopefully gets this behind him the next few weeks. Yeah, so I think both guys have they've kind of gone through the process, seeing doctors here at the end of the year, and neither guy, it doesn't look like either situation is surgical. Basically, seems like for them, for both players, it's more of a rest recovery situation. Both guys will be, take some downtime from throwing, and then kick off their off-season program here at some point, probably about 6 weeks or so from now. But I think the good news really for everybody, I think, Dinelson saw Dr. Andrews. Mike has had a couple of different doctors see him, our team doctors, along with different experts throughout the country. And everybody's been in agreement with both players that it's not something in either case that's surgical. It needs to go the operation route. It's something that the doctors feel very confident. A few weeks down, they'll be in a better spot and they'll be able to come to spring training full go. I think we got some really good news on that front with both guys. And now it's just having a good off season and putting themselves in a good position to be ready to go here next year for spring training. In some ways, pretty similar in terms of free agency trades, kind of reviewing our roster, in some ways different, just trying to analyze this year, with the shorter season and the COVID season and trying to make sense of, kind of what we need to do as a group and a team. But that whole process will start this week, and looking forward to getting better. I think like we felt like this year that we could play with anybody. I think we felt like we had a team that would have been competitive with anybody and could compete with anyone. I don't think there are any glaring holes that we see. I think even part of the last few years and even the last few months was about building something that we felt like was sustainable, and it wasn't just like a quick run and then all of a sudden we were going to have to really reload and regroup in the off season. So I think we go in with a team that, there's not one specific area that we need to address. Obviously, we've got to, continue from the health standpoint, getting good news and making sure our guys are healthy. But, we feel like we have a pretty complete competitive club. Every year you're going to look to improve and going to look to, try to continue to add. And I think we understand the ultimate goal is to win the World Series. But I don't think there's a glaring area that we go into this thing. I think it's still, adding the right kind of people to the group and the team. And I think we'll start having those conversations here over the course of the next few days. But, I think last year we had a clear focus, left-handed bats, rounding out the lineup, improving some of the bat quality, adding to some of the starting pitching depth. This year I think it's, we feel pretty good about the crew that's coming back. And, I think we'll see how the offseason lines up, in the next couple of weeks. I think with Chris, again, I think there's a ton of faith, and I told him that personally. I think there's, again, like this is kind of the first time really in his career he struggled. I think you really go back. Obviously, a lot of these guys as amateurs are dominant, and really for him, like right out of the gate, when you look at rookie ball with the Marlins into the trade with us into a I think 8-walk, 120 strikeout comeback season from Tommy John, and then last year as a rookie. He was pretty successful right out of the gate, really against the best guys in the world, and he had some really good moments this year. I think for him, that fastball command, getting that heater back, everything kind of for him comes off of the fastball. He obviously has a great changeup and developing breaking pitches, but the fastball command's the biggest thing, and I think we've talked about getting the fastball back to the dominant pitch that's been for him in the past, and trying to figure out why it wasn't quite that this year. But again, like you bet on people. He's an extremely hard worker. He's a very competitive person, and this is a unique thing for him. He's never really gone through this before in a unique year. So it's not excuses. He's not an excuse maker, but he'll be one of those guys that we talk about. This offseason priority. Started opening day for us. Started the first playoff game for us. We see him as a front of the rotation type, and making sure next year when we start on opening day that he's that guy for us. I think that'll be a big priority. In terms of payroll and budgets for this offseason, I think that's really over the course of the next couple of weeks. I think we'll start getting more and more into those conversations, internally, and then and also with Ron and Peter, and then with Tatis, I think everybody's been upfront that when you get its job is to get talented players and individuals that fans love to see play that lead to a winning situation, and then you want to keep those guys in in the city, and I think he's expressed interest. I know we'll go down that path, and probably look a little more. I think during the season this year it's such a short season, and it was such like a sprint to the finish line that I don't think there was a lot of, I think from our standpoint in the middle of all of that, trying to put a contract negotiation in there. I think we'll start to look more serious at that here this offseason, and it sounds like there's interest on both sides, so we'll see where it goes. Yeah, I think the DH question is definitely a question that I think all the teams are asking about right now. Is like when will you find out, and kind of what's that going to look like, because it does affect your team planning. And I think with Mitch, when we acquired him, I think one of the, I think one of the things for us with pretty much everybody we acquired outside of Rosenthal, was that there was some carry forward value. So we felt that was an option that was going to be something that we would consider. I think that'll be what the next couple of weeks is going to be about until right after the World Series is making that call. Probably would help a little bit, having a sense of if there's a DH or not. But I think in general those will be the conversations we'll make, and try to get a sense of a budget, and then try to get a sense of where everybody fits in. Have a good team, but we have a really young team, and I think I think there's the expectation. I think this thing's been designed that we continue every year to get people to come up through a system that we believe in that can impact our big league club. So I think those are two names that we would expect to come in next year ready to compete, and make our decisions tough in terms of who's going to be on the roster. And I think both of those guys come in next year ready to, I think the message to them in the offseason is going to be come in ready to make the club.